Hello and welcome back to Immortal Realms of Empire Wars, and we're going to be spending a little bit more time with the Moroia here, just literally so that we can see some of their other units, because I personally am very intrigued about the automatons, and I'm also pretty intrigued about the gargoyles. Of course, we've seen the gargoyles a little bit, but not really that significantly. Automatons very much less. So I think it could be a lot of fun to see what they're all about. And as you can see, we already have the ability to win the game. So, you know, even if another clan beats us to the punch, so to speak, we really don't have to worry about that whatsoever. So let's just go to the next turn and see what is going to happen. And yeah, I think we're going to take a look at the Nosfernos in the next little series of Immortal Realms. And I think, personally, I feel like they are going to be the hardest to play, which may seem maybe a bit weird. I feel like Dracul is probably the easiest, and then Moroia next. And then the Nosfernos, I believe personally, in my opinion, are probably the hardest, which is weird, because you would think that a faction that is all about feeding on villages and things like that is going to be somewhat easier to play, because you could basically just go to the village and feed on them. But that's basically the only way you can get blood as a result. So I'm not entirely sure how it's going to go, but it's going to be interesting to find out. Alright, so let's just move on here. Delano really doesn't have a huge amount of combat strength anymore, so it's highly unlikely that he'll be able to win any actual battles. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe he'll surprise us. Alright, so we have 189. I'd like to get a little bit more blood, just for the sake of being able to summon a whole bunch of very powerful automatons and then going into a battle with them. And I think that could be a lot of fun. Now, we have how many factions are still remaining? I think 4. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't even count at that point. I didn't even count. So yeah, we're gonna have to see about that. But yeah, let's just continue to drain our mana, because personally, I feel like the Moroia, they might even be the easiest in regards to the amount of blood that you're able to get. But it is very dependent on a number of factors, and these factors are pretty much: do you have a number of lords? If you have a good amount of lords, then you should have a pretty easy time of using the Moroia and doing quite well with them. However, if you don't have a huge amount of lords, or if you're cut off from being able to, you know, recruit more because you're getting beaten in combat almost all the time, then that's going to be a problem, you know, that's going to be a bit of a problem. So yeah, that I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure about that, because as I said, I mean, if you start over here, this is where we started, and the mana is right there. So within the first turn, you can literally go and capture the mana, and then you can also turn a lord to your side, and that lord can pretty much just stand at the keep while your main guy runs around and tries to capture additional territory, which is exactly what I did in this series, kind of. I didn't go straight away. I didn't rush for it or anything like that, because I personally feel like rushing for manas is maybe not the best idea, because you really do need a good foundation to kind of support yourself, to try and make sure that you don't get murdered in the first combat encounter. And I think that generally, if you suffer a setback in the first initial fight or battle that you have, you're going to have some problems, at least in my opinion. So it depends. It depends. But otherwise, whoa, this guy has nothing, as you could see. This guy has absolutely nothing. He's going to get murdered by Elizabeth right here. Certain victory. Auto-resolve. Boom. You're dead. Oh, yes. Absolutely dead. Okay, so, yeah, I guess we'll start moving out here and capturing some stuff. Why not, you know? I mean, Elizabeth should have the right to do that. She is the leader, of course. So let's just continue to recruit some more of these automatons. I'd like to get them into a battle as soon as possible. And there you go. Look at that. We have 164 combat strength with a newly recruited army, just purely for the fact that we were able to get so many automatons. It really makes a huge difference. Okay, so let's go over to the ancient tomb and probably take that. Let's take a look at the map, actually. I haven't shown you the map in this series so far, but the blue areas are mine, and the other colors are obviously other people's. So the map is pretty significantly different layout to what it was in the previous series with the Dracul, because obviously we're playing on different maps. So they all have different layouts, which is, in my opinion, very, very nice as well. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to use DeRay now as well to start taking a couple of things, because personally I don't think I really need to worry about my blood income any further, because we could go super hard into the negative and I think we would still probably achieve victory here at this point, because we just have so many powerful units in these areas that it's pretty much done, you know, it's pretty much done. So we're just going to gain some additional cards here. These are pretty good. Let's capture this. And we've actually leveled up to 21 now as well, which is pretty crazy. Okay, so let's have a look. I would like... Don't really want to go for any of this, to be honest. You can spec into gargoyle powers, which I think is probably pretty good. I think, in general, if you want to have the strongest army possible, it is more than likely that you'll have to go for gargoyles, I think. Because they generally are... at least in my opinion, I feel like they have the best skill set for defeating enemies. Let's actually just take a quick look. These are... Oh, wait. These are the tier 3s. Okay, so they are warriors, so they have a balance between attack and defense. They heal for 5% of its max health whenever a spell is cast on them. They cannot take flanking damage, and they also suffer no attack penalty by having low health. So they are really good if you're wanting to go for like a melee unit. Ooh, gargoyle warriors actually take 50% less damage from ranged attacks. So in other words, if you were to take the tier 2 units up against some Moroia armies, you'd probably have a really good time, because they of course only have ranged abilities. So it's all down to strategy, you know? It's all down to strategy. And I guess I'm just going to continue being a bit of a blood battery here, just so that we don't completely go into the negative by such a huge margin. And yeah, let's try and find a fight with Tobias. And we have leveled up another 2 times with our clan legacy, because we do have that additional clan XP at the moment. And this is actually giving me the soul drain keyword for lords. And you know what that is? Whenever they attack in combat, they will gain some mana. Yeah, they'll gain some mana back, so they don't need to rely on their units any further, or at least on the apprentices, because gargoyles and automatons, I don't believe, have the soul drain ability. So that is actually kind of impressive to get that. And I've basically just been going down this route right here, because as you can see at the very end, you can increase your lord's mana by 20. This is actually an extremely good thing to take if you are mainly focused on gaining blood through blood alchemy and not on capturing various things in the game world itself. So as you can see, I've just basically been walking around here. We almost are, I think we are almost close to a battle with our automatons, so hopefully we'll be able to do that. And I've just been basically just capturing as much as I possibly can here. Capture the prison. And I think this is also one of the major strengths of the Moroia. They seem to rely quite heavily on having multiple lords, because let's face it, if you have multiple lords, you're going to be able to drain mana from multiple different sources, and as a result gain additional blood that way. So it is very impressive for them to be able to do that. And let's have a look at, ooh, this guy's got 147, we have 162. So generally units in your armies have taken damage. Aha! Okay, so that is indeed a bit of a problem, isn't it? So when you go into the negative, you are going to have blood starvation. Okay, that's actually good to know. That is good to know. Okay, so let's go into this fight just purely for the fact that we kind of have to. Otherwise, it is going to be... we're going to lose some units from the auto-resolve, I think, which is a bit problematic. We really don't want that to happen. And we want to be as powerful as we possibly can be. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm literally just going to leave my people right here. And that's it. We're just going to wait for them to come towards us. Now, that's the thing. If the ranged units were able to attack after moving, I would be moving quite significantly more. But it is just so much more advantageous for you to wait until the enemy comes towards you. As you can see right here. Look at this. Look at how much damage I can deal to this tier 3 unit. 61 damage is utterly crazy. And we can even do aimed shot. Look at that. Another 61 damage. And the apprentice can also do this. Boom. You're dead. Look at that. That is just... wow. That is kind of crazy. Okay, so yeah, we'll just continue to wait. Just continue to wait until they come over here. We do have gargoyle warriors. It seems like we have like an attack bonus? It seems like we have an attack bonus from something. I'm not entirely sure how we have that, but it seems like most of my units actually have the attack bonus. Maybe it's because DeRay is leveled up. Because as you can see, he has a whole bunch of different stuff. Oh, recruiting units doesn't cost action points? Oh yeah, because he's leveled up so dramatically. That is pretty crazy. Alright, so yeah, I'm really going to be looking forward to playing the Nosfernis actually, because they were the first faction that I kind of thought looked the coolest. But they all look cool, that's the point. You know, every single one of the factions in this game look really cool. And I think the main thing that I liked about the Nosfernis is that they have that very unique mechanic in being able to feed on things and gaining much more from that. That really does make a big difference, I think. Anyway, unfortunately, most of my units do not have aimed shot. So we're going to have to rely on the very few apprentices that we have to be able to do anything, pretty much. But with our damage bonus that we currently have, that's pretty much all that we need, you know? That's pretty much all that we need. We're going to be able to kill most of these units in pretty much 2 hits, which is kind of crazy in itself. Let's see if I can... oh, look at that damage. Look at that damage. Yeah, I'm going to do some damage. Why not? We've got a load of mana. We've got a load of mana, so we might as well do that.
Knowledge is ours.
And DeRay actually has a huge range as well. That's pretty crazy. Okay, wait a minute. What's happening here? Target unit cannot retaliate for 1 turn. I'm not entirely sure if that really matters, to be honest, because we are a ranged unit. I think it would have been better to use it on the Gargoyle Warrior, to be honest, because look at this. 36 retaliation damage from that guy. Pretty crazy. Alright, so yeah, this is... oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, they did attack. They did attack DeRay, so I guess, you know, that's not particularly bad. Alright, well, I can choose where I want to attack. I guess we'll attack over here, because there are more units over on the left side. And we're just going to continue doing damage. Massive amounts of damage, actually. And we can heal if we want to. We can teleport as well. I don't know. I guess I'll just move over here. There we go. Whoa, so much damage. Look at that. So much damage from this guy. Boom. Look at that. And look at this. The enemy has already gained max rank of his aspiration just purely for the fact that he is, well, taking a literal beating pretty much. He is, isn't he? It's absolutely crazy. And DeRay being able to do 108 damage per hit. That is crazy. We don't even have our first aspiration either, which is making a huge difference. But yeah, that was some pretty big damage. 83 damage right there from the enemy lord, which is to be expected, of course. Enemy lords do generally tend to have some pretty significant damage, but I wonder how fast it's going to be for us to kill him. Probably quite quick, but we'll see. Okay, so yeah, let's, I'm just gonna finish off a couple of these other units, just the small little guys on the sides. And yeah, we're in range of that guy. All right, that's absolutely fine. Let's just kill this. And I'm just gonna try and get rid of the annoying units. Yeah, we basically killed this guy in 3 hits, pretty much. So now we can get this guy dead. Boom. And I believe... that is indeed it. There you go. Nice victory for us right there. We lost 1 unit, didn't we? Or none? Not entirely sure. But we were absolutely beasting that guy. Literally so much attack damage. He just can't do anything, you know? He just can't do anything. Alright, yep, we lost no one. Absolutely no one whatsoever. And we have now leveled up once again. So let's give ourselves Ascension. Let's claim the blacksmith and we'll go over to the manor. And I am going to need to go over here to this keep, because I am going to need to start draining some mana once again to try and get ourselves up and running pretty much. Okay, so is there another keep nearby? Yeah, there is another keep over here, but this is our automaton guy, and I don't really want him to be doing that. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure where I'm gonna go with this, but I guess we'll just see what happens. Alright, so that definitely seems like a pretty significant weakness of the Moroia, but as I've said before, you can pretty much recruit as many lords as you like, at least as far as I am aware. I obviously do not know whether you can recruit an unlimited amount, because I would assume that at some point you're going to have to stop. But maybe that's just me. I'm not entirely sure about that. So what we're going to do right here is I'm just going to get another action point for Elizabeth, because she's going to be our main battery here. But as you can see, I've now gotten to the positive again in the amount of blood that I have, and as a result we are no longer killing our own units, which is a good thing, you know. That's definitely a good thing. All right, so I'm also going to be attempting to heal a little bit here, because we do need to heal our automatons as much as we possibly can. And we also have a number of other things that we can do here. So I'm going to be constructing some more orders here so that we can do more every single turn, because that's very important. And I'd like to go to the wishing stone, I suppose. There we go. And now we're above, so now all of our armies are no longer taking blood starvation damage. So that's very, very important to bear in mind. You really do want to be a bit careful on that. All units cost 25% less upkeep, seems pretty good to me. Now we have a number of cards that we can use. I actually just used 2 ambushes on this guy, and as a result, he's probably going to have numbers of units that are super, super damaged. So pretty happy to see that. And otherwise, we're just going to get some veterancy, I suppose. It doesn't really make that much difference to me at this point, because we are kind of weak with DeRay at the moment. She's not doing so well in that regard, so I'm a little bit worried about her, to be honest. I think she could probably be killed relatively quickly at this point. So I'm gonna Not entirely sure where... Ah, there's the enemy army. Okay. So let's go over there. And once again, we will drain some mana. Nice. Now, you see, here's the thing. Because I have mana-infused veins right now, every single one of our lords has a minimum of 80 mana, which is exactly what Elizabeth started with. And as a result, she is now, well, an absolute beast in terms of giving us blood. And you can see here that I'm now only losing 14 per turn. And the reason for that is because, of course, we have gained a number of pieces of territory. And yeah, of course, you know, gaining territory is a big deal. You know, you're definitely going to have a much easier time if you gain more territory than your opponents. But of course, you do have to bear in mind that that does require some military might pretty much all the time. So you have to be prepared for that. Okay, so I'm just going to build another one of these. Get some more blood, thank you. And there's the enemy. Okay, I'm catching up to them. I'm catching up, but it is a little bit slow. And this is going to be our fight with the automatons, because of course that's the main thing that I want to do right now. I'd like to get those guys into a battle and see exactly what they're all about. And let's just go over here. Capture that. I'm just trying to randomly capture stuff. I don't really mind whether the Duray gets murdered at this point, because we are very close to getting into that automaton battle. And I think in general you can kind of assume that even if I didn't already have a win condition, I would still be in a very powerful position to achieve a victory here. So even if, as you can see here, even if Duray gets attacked right now, I'm pretty much just going to go for an auto-resolve right here. I don't mind suffering a defeat because we have so much blood that we would be able to revive Duray and get her almost a full army pretty much instantaneously. And that's the power of the Moroia, in my opinion. It's really quite amazing. Okay, so we're gonna... Ooh, look at that. We can inspire the troops multiple times. That's really cool as well. Okay, so let's do it. Let's go and attack this guy. Now, technically what I could do is, yeah, as you can see, I could literally just go and just auto-resolve and then he would be dead instantaneously. But that's not what we want to do, is it? No, no, no. We want to go in there. We want to have a fun time watching our automatons bash people over the head. Yes, that is what we want to do. So let's take a look and see... Receive damage to rank up. Oh, this guy is a life drainer. This is maybe going to be a bit difficult, but as you can see, most of my units have well, actually all of my units have 194 HP. They have spell immunity, and they take less damage from magic attacks, and they also have the ability to lunge at opponents. That is pretty crazy. Alright, well, I'm just going to be placing every single one of them along in a line here because I'm so imaginative about strategy that the line is the way to go. Yes, exactly. And we're actually going to be moving. Can you believe it? We're actually going to be moving towards our opponents. I can't believe it, to be honest. Oh, look at this. He's actually draining some life. Well, if you want to, I don't really think that you're going to have a very good time of things here, sir. But bear in mind that automatons are very slow. And that's their main drawback, of course. They have a very low initiative skill. But they are able to kill things very quickly, very easily. Boom. Look at that. 69. Yes, 69. They went there. They went there. The automaton certainly went there. And otherwise, let's just continue to murder. Ooh, yeah. Basically, a full army of tier 3 units. I don't think anything can pretty much beat that. I don't think so. But if you get to that point, you're more than likely going to be very close to a victory anyway. So, you know, because technically I would have won this, I don't know, quite a few turns ago. So... You know, if you think about it from that perspective, then we wouldn't even have the tier 3 army. I would have won before I even got that. So that is obviously something to bear in mind. Anyway, I'm going to use Arcane Barrage here because I can. And it's fun. So let's do it. There we go. And then we'll also move our automatons up here. Yeah, they are super slow, aren't they? They are really, really slow. Wow. But we don't really need them to be fast, do we? We don't really need them to be fast. They are just hulking Goliaths. Literally, look at that. He took 10 damage from the aimed shot of these archers. Wow, that must be so demoralizing to see that. Literally. Can you imagine being on the enemy side right now and basically being like, yeah, I just used aim shot against one of their automatons and look at how much damage. Oh, 10. Yeah. That's what he's going to be like, you know. I think my lord is probably going to die here. Maybe. I mean, I could move her away and probably survive. But let's just hope they don't have any ranged attacks. If they do have some ranged attacks, then we might have some problems. But it doesn't look as though they do, so that's perfectly fine. Let's do something here. Let's use enchant. Boom. Did I do that? No? Ah, interesting. Okay. It has just dawned on me that you cannot use beneficial spells either on the automatons. So if you have a lord that has a huge amount of beneficial spells, probably not the best idea to pair them with automatons. Aha, that's interesting. Oh, that's really cool actually. That gives you like a double-edged sword kind of effect. So it kind of makes it much more impactful, shall we say, to choose your army composition and things like that. That really makes a huge difference. Okay, good to know. Good to know. We have a huge amount of automatons that can now attack. Actually, we don't apparently. Oh, this is kind of awkward. Okay, let's go over here. And yeah, we're gonna have to do a half flank, I suppose. Half flank will be good enough, I guess. 10 damage? They're literally taking no damage whatsoever. It's crazy. I mean, their armor is just crazy as well. I mean, I think that's the main reason why they're taking literally no damage whatsoever. It really makes a huge difference. Okay, so let me move away. I think they're going to probably come after us. Do bear that in mind. I'm probably going to end up using... Yeah. No, never mind. Okay. Yeah. My lord is dead, but that's absolutely fine. I don't personally think that the enemy will be able to actually do anything here. And if your lord and its army is unable to be completely knocked out, then your lord is perfectly fine and you go back to like 10% HP or something like that. So you really don't have to worry about it. Ooh, we might actually lose one of our guys. We might actually lose one of the automatons. Do they have Undying, by the way? I don't think they have Undying. I think that would be a little bit too powerful, don't you think? Yes, probably a little bit. Boom. Good damage. Good damage. And now the wolves are... Well, the werewolves are going to be attacking us. Alright, so let's just kill this. And now the automatons get to move. Oh yes, they do. Just trying to kill all the random units, and then we'll probably do something about the Lord as well, because I actually want him to continue casting his spells, because we take so little damage from it, and we get HP back, don't we? I'm actually not sure whether we have the spell absorb. No, that's gargoyles. Gargoyles have the spell absorb. Oh, okay. Well, that's absolutely fine anyway. He's really doing nothing to us. So that's not a big deal. I guess I could go over with this one, because he's in range. Why not? It would be hilarious if this guy then turns around and attacks the automaton, because that's going to literally result in his demise. Okay, there we go. Let's get them. Get those archers. Get those archers. Yeah, well, it's actually really nice that the Moroia have a number of different play styles to really go for, because they don't necessarily only have ranged units. They obviously have gargoyles and they have automatons as well. And that makes me kind of wonder whether the Dracul also have more notable ranged units than the ones we actually touched upon in the series. Because I know they have, I think they have Magus, I think they have some mages or necromancers or something. And I also think they have archers, but I think that's pretty much it. I don't know whether they have anything else. So they're of course much more melee focused, and that's where the Nosfernis are kind of a bit intriguing to me, because I'm not sure what they have anymore. I think they have also some kind of necromancer, some kind of caster kind of unit, and yeah, that's going to be kind of interesting to see. That is going to be kind of interesting to see. So yeah, that is pretty much it for the Moroia here. We have, I think we pretty much will just destroy pretty much anything in our way at this point. And considering we have taken so much territory now, we pretty much have the opportunity to, well, as you no doubt heard me say before, we could pretty much just get any army up and running almost instantaneously, and especially Doris. Doris has leveled up into someone that literally has the ability to recruit units without using action points, and as a result, she could literally construct an army out of nowhere in one turn if you have enough blood to be able to do that. And of course, now that we have the void, well, should we say mana etched void or something along those lines, now that we have that, it makes it even more likely that we would be able to do that, you know, able to have enough blood to be able to do that. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. And especially considering we now have tier 3 units available. Tier 3 units would enable us to, well, we could basically spawn at a keep, and then we could just get those elders and are they elders or mystics? I think they're elders. I think they are elders. So yeah, we could basically just get those guys recruited again and again and again and again, and it would be an extremely strong army almost immediately. So there are a number of different strategies you can use with all the different factions, with the exception of Nosfernis, because I obviously am not particularly experienced with them just yet. But hopefully you'll stick around and you'll stay tuned for the next little series. So I will be clicking on this now, and that is indeed a victory for us. And there you go. It took us, 54 turns. I think I probably would have had it done at about 48 or 45 maybe, which is much quicker than Dracul, but it was a different win condition. So that is kind of interesting. You can actually keep playing as well if you want to, by the way. So you could just click keep playing, and then you can do that, and then you don't have to worry so much about your win condition. You can actually just click on it at any time, and then it will give you the same screen. So you can pretty much just quit out any time you want. But anyway, stay tuned for the Nosfernis series. It will be coming. I don't know when, but in the next few days, I suppose. And otherwise, if you'd like to check out the game, there is a link in the description. And I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.